Let's go to Orlando. So Sunshine State? Sunshine State. You know what I'm saying.
Oh, we're gonna go into the thing. Hold on. Ah.
And believe it or not, this was exactly the vacation we needed.
As some of you may have heard, we recently moved to Tampa 2 days before getting hit by both Hurricanes Helene and Milton.
Whoa.
And after 2 weeks worth of power outages, gas outages, and cleanup, we were ready to get out of town. So off we went to Orlando to visit some of our chosen family who were down visiting from Philly.
I might cry.
Sean,
I'm so happy.
our animator Alex, and Mark. This trio makes an annual October pilgrimage to Universal's Halloween Horror Nights, but we were there to take advantage of some free passes that Alex had procured for us to Universal's Polynesian-themed water park, Volcano Bay. Information is totally key when planning a trip to any theme park because it'll not only help you be prepared for what to expect, but it'll help you make the most of the day or days that you're there. Volcano Bay is a seasonal park because it is a water park, so there are some days that it's closed, but for the days that it's open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you're anything like me and you could live at a water park if given the chance, there is also an early admission option that will get you in the gates at 9:30. Single-day tickets to Volcano Bay start at $70 for adults and $65 for children ages 3 to 9, but there are deals to be had if you purchase in bundles on the Universal website. The link to this was weirdly hard to find, so I put it along with some other good information down in the description so that you don't have to go searching for it. You're welcome. And as with most theme parks in the area, there is a Florida resident pass option for people who live in the state. We will have more information on Florida theme parks coming soon, but in the meantime, I recommend if you're planning any trip to any theme park for any period of time, call the sales line first and talk to the representatives about ticket bundle options or just general recommendations. Theme park service providers are very knowledgeable about how to get the most bang for your buck and how to make sure that you hit all the objectives that you want to hit while you're on your trip. One thing we do know is parking at the theme park will cost you about $32.50. You can park at the resort, but do expect that you're going to pay between $50 and $60 like we did. That said, the parks really are right there.
53 and a quarter.
Good Lord.
That's for
10 hours. We literally just walked down a sidewalk to the entrance of the park from the Sapphire Lowe's resort. That was maybe 3 minutes. We're Philadelphians, people. They were like, it's gonna be a 6-minute walk, and we're like, that's nothing. And then it wound up being even half that, so all right. They just wanted to check and make sure I didn't have contraband. But they were very sweet about it.
What kind of contraband?
Oh, the guns that I left at home.
Oh.
And the drugs that I left at home.
You left the drugs at home?
I left the drugs at home.
Universal's code of conduct was admittedly a little buried, weirdly along with all the other things I was researching for this video, but I was finally able to get a list of their prohibited items, which include the usual suspects: drugs, firearms, alcohol, glass containers, and a bullet point called illegal items, but also a few things that I hadn't thought of, like folding chairs and suitcases. We put the full list in the description along with the link to the actual page it came from. You will have to get your bag scanned before getting to the park entrance, but we did notice they did a really good job of keeping the lines moving. The path getting from security to the entrance kind of does a great job of amping up the anticipation too. So when you present your pass at the gate, attendants will take your picture so you come up in their Universal Photos catalog and to assign you your personal Tapu watch.
Struggling a little bit here.
Riding the struggle bus.
The volcano in the middle of Volcano Bay is home to all of their thrill rides, one of which is the Ko'okiri Body Plunge, a 70-degree, 125-foot drop. No, thank you.
Never doing that.
Volcano Bay actually seemed a bit smaller than the other Universal theme parks, which I personally love because aside from waiting hours in line and paying $20 for cocktails, the one thing I dislike most about Universal is the 30,000 steps I put in every time we go there. In keeping with the Polynesian theme, the park is divided up into villages, each with their own objectives. Thrills and adventures, relaxing indulgence, just for the kids, and fun for the family. I thought the layout was pretty thoughtful. It had mostly flat terrain and there weren't a lot of crazy distances between rides. I did also notice a number of parties who had at least one member who was in a wheelchair. That said, I did also notice that a lot of the seating appeared to be in sandy areas, so please do keep that in mind if you're wheeling around.
I don't know where we are. Oh, that was fun.
Coming off the rides was a tad disorienting only because the exits weren't near the entrances. There's decent signage marking the ways to different parts of the park, so as long as you know where you're staying, you'll know how to get back there as soon as you find a sign. That said, again, it's not a terribly huge park, so it's not terribly easy to get lost around there, and that's coming from a woman who once got lost in her own apartment complex. And because I know you want to know, I did get footage of the bathroom, and I am happy to report that I found them to be clean, accessible, well lit, and they had their own private showers, which I found super awesome. All right, so let's get into what we learned about how to make the most out of a visit to Volcano Bay. So my mom is a bit of a theme park savant, and the night before we went, she suggested we look into renting a cabana. We wound up renting what Volcano Bay calls a single cabana, which they say holds up to 6 people. They do also have larger family cabanas, which hold up to 16 people. Even though they do this every year, the guys had never rented a cabana before. And they wound up loving it so much that they've decided they're gonna do one every year from now on.
I think you should have gone with Hughes guys.
Hughes guys, come on.
So are the perks of the cabana worth the cost of the cabana? I'm gonna tell you right now, I think they are, and here's the reason why. Aside from making you feel super welcome the moment you walk in the door, you get early entrance to the park included. You get your own private seating with privacy curtains in guaranteed shade with a fan. You get towels, which you would have to rent if you didn't bring your own. At $6 a bottle, you get enough water to offset nearly a quarter of the cabana cost, depending on the size of the cabana and when you rent it, but more on that in a minute. You get your own private Tapu screen, your own private concierge, a safe for your belongings, outlets for charging your stuff, your own private food and beverage person. Ours was Pam, absolutely loved her, holy cow. And you get a welcome basket full of fruit, pastries, and a cookie.
We lose the cookie. Did Wilson take our cookie? Where did the cookie go? Mark.
Oh, that was a bit.
It is also good to note that that basket comes in an allergen-free version, so if you have food allergy concerns, you can let them know ahead of time, and not only will they give you an allergen-free version of the basket, they will also make you aware of any other allergy concerns on any of their menus. So as I just mentioned, the cost of the cabana is going to depend on the size of the cabana that you rent and when you rent the cabana. Your larger cabanas are going to be more expensive than your smaller cabanas, and your higher seasons are going to be more expensive than your lower seasons. We were there in mid-October, which is not a super popular time to be at the water park, even though the weather was absolutely amazing, and our single cabana cost us $450 before tax. Volcano Bay does not publish their cabana prices online, preferring instead that you go direct to their sales line to ask them about it, which I also recommend. We were told that in the more popular seasons, the single cabanas can go as high as $1,200 and the family cabanas can go as high as $2,000. But there's a sneaky secret we learned. Our insider told us that you can rent your cabana in the low season even if your visit isn't until the high season. And because Volcano Bay sets their pricing for the day of, you'll get the low season price. So in other words, if you know you're gonna be traveling to Volcano Bay in July, book your cabana in January when it's the low season and you'll get the January price for your visit in July. This could literally save you 50% or more on the price of the cabana. And if you find yourself at the park wishing that you'd planned ahead, we got you there too. If there are any cabanas left and it's after 1:30, you'll score an automatic 30% off for the rental for the rest of the day. Our concierge Wilson was incredible. He made sure that we knew absolutely everything there was to know about the cabana, including how to make the most out of the private Tapu screen that I mentioned earlier. The Tapu system, so far as we can tell, is unique to Volcano Bay, which is honestly kind of unfortunate because it essentially allows visitors to hold their place in line for one ride at a time and then we'll send an alert when it's your turn to show up. Admittedly, maybe there's some insight I don't have as to why this system only exists for Volcano Bay. So if you know something I don't know or you have your own thoughts, comments. Okay, so here's how it works. Remember that totally non-nefarious picture taking and watch assigning that was happening at the entrance to the park? Whenever you get to a ride and the wait is outrageous, you can swipe your watch on the Tapu screens at the entrance to the ride, and the system will put you in line. You'll get notifications as the wait time goes down, and in the meantime, you can enjoy all the other fun rides, or have a bevy, or do literally nothing. Choice is yours. When it's your turn to ride, you'll get a 5-minute warning to head over. It is not haptic feedback, meaning your watch isn't gonna buzz, so you're gonna have to remember to keep checking it every once in a while. But I'll be honest with you, we had no problems remembering to check our watches, especially as the designated time got close. Wilson also gave us a neat hack, which was to tap our watches into the system as soon as we arrived to get us into line for the Krakatoa water coaster. This is one of the most popular rides at the park, so the lines fill up fast, and because the wait times for the other rides weren't terrible, we were able to hit most of the park in the 4 hours it took us to wait for Krakatoa otherwise. Volcano Bay's more intense attractions offer photo ops for those moments when your fight or flight is fully engaged. And since you'll likely want to reclaim those moments of bravery, they've incorporated the Tapu system to help you find your photos more easily. Thankfully. Of course, no visit to a theme park would be complete without an upcharge, and our photo was $20, and I went ahead and paid the extra $5 for the digital copy so that I wouldn't have to go in and scan it myself. Something that doesn't have wait times and never fills up is our YouTube channel, so you can tapu that subscribe button and the notifications button. And if you really want to show us some love, we have Patreon. Joining there literally pays our team to do what we do, so feel free to stop on over. And it does come with some pretty awesome perks like access to these amazing maps that we make. And we're constantly adding new content, so you'll see all of it getting built and be a part of it at the ground level. And then when new people join, you can totally point and laugh because you got grandfathered in. I'm kidding, don't actually do that. It would be very mean. As a matter of fact, give the newbies like a hug, or like a virtual high five, or I don't know, have ChatGPT like write them a poem or something. Yeah, that'll be fun. Time to talk turkey on these rides, y'all. And I'll set the table by stating that I am not an adrenaline junkie. Like, I hate the feeling of falling. I think Disney thrill rides are about the level of thrill that I can stand, with the exception being the Tower of Terror, which just no. But I freaking love water thrill rides. And I mean, like, I will avoid anything with plunge in the name, but give me a water raft ride and I am all over it. And let me tell you, Volcano Bay did not disappoint. I am pleased to say that our crew managed to hit all of the raft rides, the Lazy River, what we dubbed the Crazy River, and the Park's one water coaster. The consensus was that they were thrilling without being outright scary, and that they were long enough that you felt like you got your weight's worth for the ones that you had to wait in line for. The River Village is where you will find the Kopiko Y winding or lazy river. It's a hop on, hop off, so there's never a line for it, and the rafts stay in the river, so you just grab and go as you want. Or you can make like I did and embarrass your friends with your goggle mask while you swim around like a noodle.
But I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
If, however, you want the lazy river vibes, but like bammed up a notch, the Teawa Fearless River, or what we called the Crazy River, is oh so fun. And just like the Lazy River, it's a hop on, hop off situation, so you just throw on the life vest, jump in, and away you go. Kind of whether you want to or not.
Well, one down. That's how we lost Sean. Oh my, oh wow, whoa.
Passing over the rivers are the park's many water slides. And while we didn't feel like taking on anything that had plunge, drop, or body in the name, we definitely took full advantage of all the raft rides, and let me tell you, they were plenty exhilarating.
Have fun.
Oh my god.
So as the kids would say, 10 of 10 would do again. Full marks in my book. Chef's kiss. Amazing. Absolutely loved it. Going back. Plus, I need to finish off all the rides that we didn't get to. And maybe do a plunge. If we got to like 1,000 subscribers, I think I would do the plunge. I just got like a whole pit in my stomach. So to recap, this park genuinely felt like it had it all. With tickets starting well under $100 for adults, that is a great deal for a major Orlando theme park. Get there early to avoid lines and to take advantage of the park's relatively shorter hours and to claim seating. Get early access if you have to. Do go in the shoulder seasons if you can. Prices are cheaper, lines are shorter, and it's still plenty warm here in Central Florida well into November, but do bear in mind that a cold snap will shut down the park, so make sure to get updates by checking the website or request them with your ticket. And speaking of tickets, make sure to make use of the sales line. The reps are there to help you. They will help you set expectations and they can get your questions answered. They might even give you some insights that you hadn't considered. You can make them aware of any special needs or celebrations that you and your party might have, and it might even save you some money. Getting around the park is relatively easy, especially compared to some of the larger parks out that way. I do recommend you wear your flip-flops. They have little shoe stations at each of the rides, so you'll be safe with those. I didn't even get to food and beverages. I will say the costs were definitely lower than I remember seeing at Universal. Like, we're talking $18 for a cocktail, $14 for a pizza that fed all 5 of us. Like, it's pretty worth it. And if you get the cabana, remember, you don't have to wait in line. The food comes to you. I also didn't get into the splash pads or the family-friendly rides, but there were a few of them and they looked like a good time. And I have no doubts that I forgot tons of other stuff, so ping me in the comments, let me know what I forgot. This video was made possible in part by support from our good friends and Patreon supporters, Sarah Nelson and Cassie King. Love you both, thank you so much. And with the generosity of our animator Alex's cat, Salem, who so graciously allowed him to go on vacation and invite us along.